Hello everybody and welcome back to a brand new episode of NASCAR Heat 4 Career Mode. I hope you're all having a great day. Today we start the playoffs here for the Cup Series as well as the Xfinity Series. Our team has one more chance to get into the playoffs, but that would mean that we have to win at a track that the Xfinity program has always struggled at. So obviously the chances of that happening aren't very high for us here today in Las Vegas. But we had subscriber Blake Matter in the car here for our Xfinity Series race as he went down towards turns 1 as usual. Our team started about midfield, so obviously a continued struggle, unfortunately for us here in the Xfinity Series, as he was getting pretty aggressive in turns 2 going down this back straightaway here, as he would slowly actually be able to climb his way forwards here throughout this race. But then as the race went on, he had actually started to fall again as he came through turns 3 and turn 4. Now this being the final lap, like I said, he had started falling towards the end of this race, but obviously still ahead of Brandon Jones. No shocker there as he came down this front straightaway. Coming through to cross the line, Blake Matter would come through to unfortunately get P23 here, which isn't really too bad. That's really where our team's kind of been most of this season. We've just struggled, and obviously we're looking at next season already with this team, where I'm actually going to be starting my own team since that team glitch got fixed. Now as we cross the line though here in qualifying for the Cup Series with a 30.678, we actually go P6 here for the first race of the playoffs. So a very solid, strong starting position, and hopefully we can keep it up here with Keselowski on the pole here for Las Vegas.
We're in Las Vegas for the South Point 400. Now, the 10-race NASCAR playoffs start today. After a knockdown, drag-out regular season, only 16 drivers still have a shot at NASCAR's greatest prize. So pull up a chair and we'll deal you in.
All right, thank you, Rick Allen. We're ready to go green here for the first race of the playoffs of South Point 400 at Las Vegas. Paul Menard, he's a friend, so that's always good. Chase Elliott isn't nearly as fast as expected. A playoff contender, that's not very good for him. Jimmy Johnson looks a bit slow today. He's had a struggle all season long here in our career mode, so obviously we hope to see Jimmy Johnson turn it around. He missed the playoffs. Maybe next season in our career mode he could be a stronger contender. We hopefully can see that now as the playoffs though are underway here at Las Vegas, and we are green. Kyle Busch on my inside. We got on the front row Keselowski and Eric Jones, both obviously playoff contenders. As we go down towards turns 1, Keselowski wants to punch his ticket into the next round as quick as possible, as we have our rival of Kyle Larson on our inside. Things are probably about to get interesting already here in the playoffs as we exit turn 2. Larson, he missed the playoffs. Now as we get crowded into the wall by him, now as we go down this back straightaway towards turn 3, we certainly got into his right rear there, but that was 100% his fault. He completely drove up into my left front, so all on Larson on that one. Now as he came through turn 3 and on the exit of turn 4, so getting a bit aggressive here from that 42 of Kyle Larson on this opening lap of the playoffs as we go 3 wide with Blaney and Bowman. Ryan Blaney, a notable, he was the last car to make it, or the last driver to make it in the playoffs on points. So is Blaney going to really be able to do anything in this playoffs? We're not sure. I think he could truly be a first round exit in this playoff as we came through now on lap 3, still battling up the inside of Blaney, but I couldn't quite get past him. So now we came through on lap 6, still running P8 at this point in front of Joey Logano who came out of turn 4. Jones just in front of us as there's big trouble behind. Kevin Harvick takes a huge hit to the outside wall as he goes spinning down this front straightaway. Bowman, Boyer, and now Harvick goes flipping down this front straightaway as we have a major incident here early in Las Vegas in the playoffs. Big playoff implications. Harvick, one of the playoff favorites, he would actually DNF from this race. So that would be the end of Kevin Harvick's race here and a very early exit in round 1, or race 1 of round 1 here in the playoffs as we will get right back into the racing. We did not have to come to the pit lane. Now as you see behind us, Ricky Stenhouse Jr., he is one of the cars that was affected by the incident. Stenhouse obviously was not in the playoffs. He was actually one of the last few drivers in the playoffs for a majority of this season, but unfortunately within the final probably 6-7 races of the regular season, he had drifted outside of the playoff grid. Now as we came through turns 3 and turn 4, trying to just make sure that we keep this car in good shape now as we came through on lap 12, actually dropping down to P10 behind the 17 of Ricky Stenhouse Jr.'s Denny Hamlin at this point was leading the way with 7 laps to go in this first and opening stage. As we came through though on the final lap of the stage, still running P10 behind Ricky Stenhouse Jr., but now Keselowski had taken the lead. He was still battling with Denny Hamlin though, who had, as you can see up ahead, they were battling side by side as we exit turn 2 going down this back straightaway right behind the 17 of Ricky Stenhouse Jr. with half a lap to go here in this first and opening stage in Las Vegas. Hamlin and Keselowski still side by side for the stage victory. It looks like Hamlin has the edge as we come through turns 3 and turns 4 for the final time on the exit of the quarter here in this first stage, side by side just about with the 17 of Stenhouse as we come through to cross the line and get P10 here in the first and opening stage of this race here in the Las Vegas Motor Speedway, as it was, I believe, Denny Hamlin getting the stage victory. Sure enough, it was. We would come to the pit lane, though, for 2 cans of fuel, as well as 4 tires. So hopefully we can have a little bit better second stage. We only managed to pick up 1 point, but I think we definitely have more like a 6th to 7th place speed car, so hopefully we can gain at least a few more positions. Every point matters, obviously, in the playoffs. We gained 1 position, though, on the pit lane, and move up to P9 here for the start of Stage 2. Eric Almirola now up inside the top 10. He did not get stage points now as we're ready to go green, and Stage 2 is underway here in Las Vegas. Eric Almirola back in the NASCAR Heat 3 career mode. He always found a way to get himself eliminated in that first round of the playoffs. Hopefully we can see him go further this time here as we go through turns 1 now on the inside of our rival of Kyle Larson. Is he going to give us any room? We're about to find out. It looks like we're actually able to come through on the exit of the corner without getting squeezed down to that apron by the 42 of Kyle Larson, but I played it a little bit safe there as we go down this back straightaway towards turns 3, trying to get back up the inside though of the 10 of Almirola. As actually we got Tyler Reddick on our outside as well as we come through on the exit of turns 4, heading down this front straightaway as we come through to complete this first and opening lap of the second stage here in Las Vegas. Has actually lost a little bit of audio there as we head down towards turns 1, but now we got it back now, thankfully, as we came through into the corner, and we will continue battling with Eric Almirola and whatnot. Now as we came to lap 3 of the second stage, got up the inside of Almirola as we came through turns 1. We clear him for the 9th position, and thankfully we would be able to hold him off and drive away actually as we came through now on lap 7 of 17 in the second stage behind Jones again, and the caution once again would come out here at Las Vegas. Couldn't find out what brought that one out, but you see Bubba Wallace, he's one of the drivers pitting, so I'm assuming it was for him as we get ready to go green here once again as the green flag is back up just about past the midway point here of this second stage from P9. Almirola back on the outside here with 8 laps to go in this second stage at Las Vegas as we go down towards turns 1 of the inside of the 20 driver Derek Jones. Really all season long, and just like in real life and in the game, he's just kind of been that 4th driver at Joe Gibbs Racing. He just hasn't quite had the speed and consistency that the other teammates of his have had. Obviously, Jones hasn't won a race yet this season in our career mode, but his other teammates have got multiple wins. Hamlin 4, Truex 3, Kyle Busch has got 2 or 3 as well now as we come through to complete this first lap of this restart. Now 7 to go here in the second stage, still trying to clear Jones as we go down into turns 1, and we still have Hamlin battling up there with the lead, with Keselowski and Ryan Blaney getting involved for the battle for the lead as well as we exit turn 2, heading down this back straightaway. We would continue running P8 now as we came through turn 3, turn 4, and now there's trouble. The 18 of Kyle Busch, another playoff favorite, having big issues. This is going to go spinning through the triangle. Big hits from behind, and Kyle Busch takes huge hits. A big implication for him. The stage is going to get called early for a caution, obviously, and now Kyle Busch is going to be out of this race here at Las Vegas. 2 strong playoff favorites, Kevin Harvick, Kyle Busch, have found themselves out here in the first race of the playoffs now, as we obviously would pit for 2 cans of fuel, 4 tires to get this third and final stage underway. Ryan Blaney, though, leads the way. I was just saying earlier that I think he's going to be a first-round exit. He hasn't done anything all season, really, in our career, but he just barely snuck himself into the playoffs as the last driver, and here he is leading to start this third and final stage as we go through turns 1 and turns 2. I was wondering why the car didn't turn, and it was because we had the 42 of Kyle Larson pushing us into the corner. Obviously, him being a rival, and unfortunately Denny Hamlin didn't get a very good end of that either. Now as we go down this back straightaway towards turns 3, trying to get to the inside of the 21 of Paul Menard there in that 21 Wood Brothers Racing Mustang as we exit turn 4. Menard has actually really stepped it up lately here in our career mode, but obviously too little too late for him to point his way into the playoffs. Now as we come through clearing that 21 of Paul Menard as we go down into turns 1, Keselowski, Blaney, and Logano, all 3 Penske drivers running here in the top 4, battling it out with Kurt Busch as they're 2x2 right now for the first through 4th as we go down this back straightaway towards turns 3. 28 laps to go at this point, as I was actually a little bit comfortable getting up towards this top lane when I could. Now as we came through turns 3 and turns 4, but unfortunately we would actually start to lose time. Denny Hamlin had actually run me down, and he had gotten to my inside as we came through now on lap 47 of 67, so Hamlin, he would be able to make a pass on me as we came through out of turns 3 and out of turns 4, so dropping down now to P6 at this point. Hamlin, though, would continue moving his way forward. He passed Kurt Busch and Ryan Blaney, moving his way up to P3 as we started to close in, though, on the back of Kurt Busch. At this point, now just over 10 laps ago, the tire icon came on, and now as we came through on lap 56, we had actually had to start thinking about pitting, because it looked like green flag pit stops were going to happen. The fuel icon had actually come on at this point, and we're going to have our first green flag pit stops of the playoffs, because we come to 11 laps to go, and everybody was coming into the pit lane right here. So we came through turns 3 and turn 4, getting ready to make our first green flag pit stop in quite some time now as we come through turns 4, just hoping that we don't speed. A speeding penalty will greatly mess us up now as we come through, thankfully getting down to the pit lane. Speed, we would take just 1 can of fuel, would do us in, or sorry, I took a can and a half, and right side tires. I felt like right side tires was the right call here because we still had like 10 laps to go. As we come through, you see estimated 9.4 seconds. They put the tires on, and we're going to come out here with a 9.3 as the actual time now as we actually come through and behind Blaney, Keselowski, Logano, but we get ahead of Denny Hamlin. So we gained a spot there on the pit stops now as we come through, trying to re-enter the track. Right now, Daniel Hemrick leads the way as he was actually coming onto the pit lane right now as we come through out of turns 2, rejoining the track. Hamlin, though, he would actually be able to fight his way back past me as we came through now a little bit later on lap 62. The tire icon back on. The left front was down to 19% at this point, but now the caution comes out here late in Las Vegas, and this is going to force a late race restart on all of us now as we got to get ready for one potential final restart here. Can we actually get a good finish out of this? We're about to find out. We restart P5 with Keselowski, Logano, and Blaney. 1, 2, 3 for Penske Racing now as the green flag is back out, and just 3 laps to go remain here in Las Vegas for the first race of the playoffs. Now as Denny Hamlin wants to try and spoil things for this Penske party as we go down towards turns 1. Logano not with a great launch to go down through the center of turns 1 and turns 2 on the inside here of the 11 of Hamlin, trying to get to that left rear of Joey Logano now as to go down this back straightaway. Blaney into P2 as Keselowski tries to fight off both of his Penske teammates now as we came through to 2 laps to go. Blaney had gotten to the inside of Brad Keselowski now as we exit turn 4, approaching the final lap here in Las Vegas. Ryan Blaney taking the lead as the white flag is in the air. He has not won all season, the last car to make it into the playoffs, and now here he is trying to get win number 1 on the season to punch his ticket into the round of 12 as we come through turns 1 and turns 2, looking to the inside of the 22 of Logano. We're sideways on the exit of the corner, and we're about to crash the car now as we go down this back straightaway, and somehow we keep it straight now as we go down towards turns 3. A huge save. I'm not sure how we held on to it, but that doesn't matter as we keep the car straight, and we're going to be able to come home still with a solid finish. As Ryan Blaney, though, is going to fight his way through to win the first race of the playoffs for win number 1 on the season as we cross the line to get P6 here in Las Vegas. Thankfully, we didn't wreck down the back straightaway because who knows where we would have finished with that, as that was certainly a hard-dropping moment as I came out of turn 2. The car just snapped, and thankfully I was able to hang on to it as actually the right rear hitting the wall is what saved me. But Ryan Blaney, the last car into the playoffs, is the first car to advance himself into the next round now as we have a message from Matt DiBenedetto.
Hey, congrats on making it in the playoffs. Good luck.
Thank you, Matt. We made the playoffs last episode, but that's okay. Kyle Larson, he wasn't happy still. We apologized to him, and look at that. He's no longer a rival. So finally, we've gotten Kyle Larson away from being a rival. But early playoff implications here today in Las Vegas. 2 favorites, Kyle Busch, Kevin Harvick, DNF. Ryan Blaney, the last guy in the playoffs, wins himself into the next round. So it's certainly going to spice things up here on this playoff grid. Obviously, we had a good points day, so it shouldn't be much of an issue for us to make it into the next round, especially if we go in and have a good run at Richmond. But as always, if you guys did enjoy this episode, make sure to comment, like, and subscribe. Those would all be very appreciated. Kyle Busch only 19 to the good after DNFing, and Kevin Harvick is 5 points out after DNFing. Chase Elliott out as well. So that will do it, though, for this episode. So in the next one, we go to Richmond to see if we can have a good top 10 finish there and increase our points buffer. So thank you for watching, everybody, and have yourselves a great day.